All right, buckle up, everybody. We're diving deep into BTFD coin today.
Oh yeah, this should be fun.
You bet. Our listeners sent in their marketing website and white paper.
Always a good starting point, right?
Absolutely. Got to do your research, especially in crypto.
Especially with all these new meme coins popping up.
Exactly. So we're on a mission to figure out, is this just another one riding the coattails of that whole buy the thing dip thing?
Or is there something more here, you know?
Some substance behind the memes.
Well, the name is definitely attention grabbing. I'll give them that.
They're not shying away from that meme culture.
Yeah, they're leaning into it hard.
But what's interesting to me is they are trying to build a framework, like this whole presale model.
And they're hinting at, actual utility with staking and a play-to-earn game.
It's almost like they're saying, hey, we're fun, we're memey, but we're also serious about this.
Yeah, like we're not just here for a quick pump and dump.
Right, exactly. And their presale, for example, it's structured around 16 stages, each one pegged to a major market crash.
Oh, that's interesting.
A major market crash in history.
So like a history lesson and crypto investing all rolled into one.
Precisely. They're tapping into that feeling of, man, I wish I had bought Bitcoin back then.
Yeah, I get that.
You've got the panic of 1837, Black Monday in 1987, the dot-com bubble bursting, even the COVID-19 crash.
Wow, they're really covering a lot of ground.
They are. It's a pretty clever way to get people thinking about the potential of buying, during these downturns.
It plays right into that whole BTFD philosophy.
Exactly.
Buy low, sell high, right?
In theory, yes. In theory.
Yeah, that's the dream anyway.
Right.
But history doesn't always repeat itself.
Oh, absolutely not. And for each stage, they highlight a figure who supposedly made bank by buying during those dips.
Oh, so like success stories.
Yeah, big names.
Like who?
You've got John Jacob Astor in 1837.
Oh, wow, going way back.
And then, of course, Warren Buffett.
Oh, he's got to be in there somewhere.
He pops up in every crash, it seems.
Since the dinosaurs, probably.
But, they're really crafting this narrative.
I mean, it's a good story.
It is. The message is clear. Buy the dip. And you, too, can join the ranks of these legendary investors.
It's appealing. I'll give them that.
It is. But of course.
But it's important to remember, past performance doesn't guarantee future returns.
Right. Past performance, all that jazz.
It's a classic disclaimer for a reason.
Okay, so before we get too deep into financial philosophy here, let's meet the team behind BTFD. They call themselves the Bulls Squad.
The Bulls Squad, I like it.
You've got Baby Bull, the mascot.
A mascot, of course.
Raging Bull, the designer. Nerdy Bull handling the tech side.
Yeah, to have a tech guy.
And People's Bull, the community manager.
So they've got all the bases covered.
They do. They really do.
Yeah.
And, get this, they even claim that Baby Bull went through the KYC process.
Wait, seriously? For a mascot?
Yeah, just for kicks, obviously.
That's hilarious.
Right.
It's all very tongue-in-cheek, but, there's a method to the madness, I think.
Okay, how so?
Having a defined team, even if they're presented this way, in a lighthearted way, it creates a sense of accountability.
So it's like, hey, we're real people. We're here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just some anonymous.
Yeah, it's a small step towards legitimacy in a space where, anonymous developers are kind of the norm.
Okay, so they've got the mean game down pat.
Yeah.
But what about the actual tech behind BTFD? They make a big deal about being built on the Ethereum network as an ERC20 token.
Okay, so they're not messing around with some obscure blockchain.
No, they went with the big dog.
Well, choosing Ethereum, it's strategic, for sure.
How so?
It signals that they're serious about security and scalability.
Ethereum is the most established platform, right?
Yeah, for smart contracts, it's got the infrastructure to support a project like this.
So are they just, borrowing some of Ethereum's credibility?
It's definitely a factor, but Ethereum also has real benefits.
Like what?
Well, they specifically mention security, the daily liquidity, and the ability to handle a high volume of transactions.
Those are all good things, right?
Those are definitely points in BTFD's favor.
Okay, so Ethereum's a good sign.
It's a strong foundation, which is essential for any crypto project.
Especially one that's aiming to attract a large community.
Exactly, and potentially integrate with other decentralized applications.
Right. So Ethereum, good. But what about potential returns? That's what people want to know.
That's the big question.
And this is where their staking program comes in. They are promising an average APY of 90%.
Whoa, 90%.
Yeah, 90%.
That's pretty high.
It is. They even give an example. Stake 1,000 BTFD, and in a year, you could almost double your holdings.
Okay, but hold on a second. 90% APY is incredibly high. even in the world of crypto.
It's eye-catching, that's for sure.
We need to dig deeper, understand how they're getting that number.
Yeah. Is it sustainable?
Well, what are the underlying mechanisms? We can't just take their word for it.
You're right. It's easy to get caught up in the hype.
We've got to be skeptical, look beyond the flashy numbers.
Before we get too skeptical, though, let's dive into their other big selling point, the BTFD game. Yeah. They're calling it a play-to-earn experience. And they're really pushing this as a way to earn real rewards within their ecosystem.
Okay, so they're tapping into that play-to-earn trend.
Oh, yeah. It's hot right now.
BTFD is trying to ride that wave.
And it's set to launch during stage 8 of the presale. And from what I'm seeing in the white paper, they're planning 4 levels.
4 levels, okay.
With increasing difficulty, power-ups to make things interesting.
So they're trying to gamify it?
Yeah, referral bonuses and the ability to convert in-game coins to BTFD tokens.
So there's a real connection between the game and the token.
Oh yeah, it's not just a fun little side project. They see it as a way to build community, create more use cases for the token.
And maybe even attract people who aren't just in it for the quick buck.
Exactly.
I think that's a smart approach if they can pull it off.
Right, if they can successfully integrate it into their tokenomics.
It could add real value to the BTFD ecosystem.
But it all comes down to execution.
Right, absolutely. The game needs to be engaging, rewarding, well-designed, if it's going to have any lasting impact.
Agreed. A half-baked game won't do them any favors.
Aha!
Okay, so before we get lost in this world of virtual bulls and digital rewards, let's take a look at the BTFD tokenomics and allocation.
Transparency is key in crypto.
Oh, especially with meme coins.
Yeah, and they seem to be aware of that.
They've laid out exactly how the tokens will be distributed.
All right, let's break down the numbers.
Okay, so they're allocating 48% to the presale.
Okay, so a big chunk for early adopters.
9% for liquidity.
Which is locked for 3 years, right?
Correct, which they say will help with stability.
Okay, that's a common tactic.
And any unsold presale tokens will be burned.
Potentially increasing the value of the remaining token.
Right. It's all about supply and demand.
These are all tactics we've seen before.
Yeah, but they can be effective.
But as always, the devil is in the details.
Right. We need to examine that smart contract, understand the burn mechanism.
Analyze the long-term implications of their distribution model.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion, isn't it?
We're getting a clearer picture of BTFD, but there's still more to explore.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. Let's dive into the historical aspect of their presale. Remember those 16 stages, each linked to a market crash?
Yeah, the history lesson part.
They start with the panic of 1837, a time of financial chaos, banks failing, cotton prices tanking.
Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It was. And this is where they introduced John Jacob Astor, who saw opportunity amidst all this panic and scooped up assets at bargain prices.
A classic buy the dip story.
Right, laying the foundation for his immense wealth.
But it's important to remember Astor had specific knowledge and resources that allowed him to capitalize on that crisis.
Right, not everyone has those same insights.
Or access to capital.
But the BTFD team is trying to connect their project to this narrative, suggesting that their presale offers a similar opportunity
for savvy investors.
For savvy investors, yeah.
It's a good marketing tactic.
It is. They're associating BTFD with these historical success stories, reinforcing that idea that buying during dips can lead to big rewards.
But again, we need to look beyond the narrative, analyze the fundamentals.
Absolutely. The historical context is fascinating, but it doesn't guarantee the success of BTFD.
We need to understand the project's own merits, its strengths, its weaknesses, before making any judgments.
So, with that in mind, let's move on to part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll take a closer look at the BTFD game, their choice of Ethereum, and those ambitious staking rewards.
Sounds good. Let's do it. Speaking of Ethereum, let's unpack why their choice of blockchain matters. They tout it as secure, scalable, resilient, all buzzwords we hear a lot in crypto.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But do they hold up in this case?
Well, they're not wrong about Ethereum being a popular choice. It is the leading smart contract platform. For a reason, right?
Exactly.
But I'm curious to hear your take on why this matters specifically for BTFD. Is it just about riding the coattails of a successful platform? Or is there a deeper synergy here?
I think it's more than just hopping on the Ethereum bandwagon. Choosing a well-established blockchain like Ethereum brings a level of credibility and trust to the project.
Okay.
It signals that they're not cutting corners, they're building on a solid foundation.
So it's like choosing a prime location for your storefront. You want to be where the action is, where the infrastructure is already in place.
Exactly.
What are the concrete benefits for BTFD, and more importantly, for someone considering investing in it?
Well, for BTFD, being on Ethereum means tapping into a vast network of developers, users, existing tools. It opens up possibilities for integrating with other decentralized applications and potentially expanding the BTFD ecosystem.
So it's not just about the present, it's also about future-proofing the project.
Exactly.
And for potential investors,
Yeah.
what does this Ethereum Foundation mean for them?
It offers a sense of security. Ethereum has a proven track record. It's been battle-tested. It has a robust security infrastructure.
Right.
This minimizes some of the technical risks associated with newer or less proven blockchains.
So Ethereum is a good sign. It's a vote of confidence in the underlying technology.
Yeah, it's a plus for sure.
Okay, but let's talk about the rewards, because that's what a lot of people are interested in.
That's what gets people excited.
They are promising a whopping 90% APY on their staking program. Is that too good to be true?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
90% APY is incredibly high. Even in the crypto world, it's crucial to approach these claims with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Okay.
We need to look beyond the headline number and understand the mechanisms behind it.
Right, it's like seeing a flashy advertisement. It catches your attention, but you need to read the fine print.
Exactly.
So what are the red flags we should be looking for when it comes to these staking rewards?
First, how sustainable is that 90% APY? Is it based on solid tokenomics and a realistic revenue model?
Okay.
Or is it just an inflated number designed to attract investors?
Right.
We need to look at the project's token distribution, its burn rate, and how they plan to generate revenue to support those staking rewards.
So it's not just about the initial APY, it's about the long-term sustainability of the program.
Exactly.
What else should we be paying attention to?
The mechanics of the staking program itself. Is it transparent? Are the rules clearly defined? Are there any hidden fees or penalties?
Right.
It's important to understand the risks involved before locking up your tokens.
It sounds like we need to put on our detective hats here and really scrutinize this staking program.
A little due diligence goes a long way.
Okay, but before we get too bogged down in the technical details, let's shift gears to something a bit more fun. The BTFD game. They're calling it a play-to-earn experience. And they're really pushing this as a way to, engage the community and create more utility for the BTFD token.
I think it's a smart move. The play-to-earn space is exploding.
It is.
And if BTFD can create a truly engaging and rewarding game, it could attract a whole new audience beyond just investors.
Right.
But again, the devil is in the details.
Right. We've seen plenty of crypto games that promised the moon but failed to deliver.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of those.
So what are the key ingredients for a successful play-to-earn game? And how does BTFD stack up?
Well, first and foremost, the game needs to be fun.
Okay, that makes sense.
It sounds obvious, but a lot of crypto games focus too much on the earn aspect and forget about the play.
Right.
If the gameplay is boring or repetitive, people will lose interest quickly, regardless of the potential rewards.
Makes sense.
You can't just slap a token onto a dull game and expect it to take off.
Right. So what else is important?
A well-designed economy. The token needs to be integrated into the game in a meaningful way. And the rewards need to be balanced and sustainable.
Okay.
We don't want to see hyperinflation or a situation where the game becomes a grind just to earn a tiny amount of tokens.
So it's about finding that sweet spot between rewarding players and maintaining the integrity of the in-game economy.
Exactly.
What about the overall design and development of the BTFD game? Have they shared any specifics about the gameplay, the art style, the technology they're using?
They've kept the details pretty close to the vest so far. The white paper mentions 4 levels of increasing difficulty, power-ups, referral bonuses, and the ability to convert in-game coins to BTFD tokens.
Okay.
But we need more information about the actual gameplay, the mechanics, and the overall design to assess its potential.
It's like they've given us a sneak peek behind the curtain, but we're still waiting for the main act to begin.
Yeah, we need more than just a glimpse.
Is there anything in the white paper that hints at their development approach or the technology they're using to build the game?
They mention using Unity, a popular game development engine, known for its versatility and cross-platform capabilities.
Cool.
That's a good sign. It suggests they're taking a professional approach to development and aiming for a high-quality gaming experience.
Unity is a solid choice. It powers a lot of A lot of popular games across various platforms.
It's a reliable engine.
But I'm curious about the team behind the game. Do they have experience in game development, or are they relying on outsourcing?
That's a question worth asking. They haven't explicitly disclosed the game development team's background or experience.
Oh, okay.
We need more transparency on that front to assess their capabilities.
It's a bit of a black box at this point.
It is, yeah.
But hopefully they'll reveal more details about the game as we get closer to the launch date.
We'll have to wait and see.
In the meantime, let's take a closer look at the historical figures.
Yeah.
They've associated with each stage of their pre-sale. It's a clever marketing tactic, but it also raises some interesting questions.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating way to connect BTFD to historical market cycles and successful investors.
Right.
But it's important to remember these are just narratives, and we shouldn't blindly follow the buy the dip mantra just because someone famous did it in the past.
Right, right. Let's start with John Jacob Astor, who they highlight during the Panic of 1837. He was a shrewd businessman, made a fortune in fur trading and real estate. They claim he saw opportunity amidst the panic and scooped up assets at bargain prices. But is there more to the story?
Well, Astor was undoubtedly a savvy investor, but he also benefited from his connections and privileged position in society.
Okay.
He had access to information and capital that most people during that time didn't.
So it's not just about buying the dip. It's about having the resources and knowledge to capitalize on those opportunities.
Exactly.
What about the Vanderbilts, who they mentioned during the Long Depression of 1873?
The Vanderbilts were masters of consolidation. They ruthlessly built their railroad empire.
Right.
They took advantage of the economic downturn to buy up struggling railroads and consolidate their power.
So it's not always a feel-good story of individual investors making smart moves. Sometimes it's about powerful players using their influence to solidify their dominance.
It's a different side of the buy the dip narrative.
What about J.P. Morgan, who they featured during the Panic of 1907?
Morgan was a towering figure in American finance. He used his personal fortune and influence to stabilize the banking system during the panic.
Right.
He was seen as a hero by some, but others criticized him for consolidating too much power in the financial sector.
It's a complex story, and it's important to remember there are multiple perspectives on these historical events.
Absolutely. History is rarely black and white.
What about Warren Buffett, who seems to make an appearance in almost every market crash they highlight?
Well, Buffett is a legendary investor, known for his value investing approach and his ability to identify undervalued companies.
Right.
He has a long track record of success, but even he has made mistakes.
It's a good reminder that even the best investors are not infallible. Investing is inherently risky, and past performance is not a guarantee of future returns.
Exactly. The BTFD team is using these historical narratives to create a sense of excitement and opportunity.
Right.
But it's important to approach these stories with a critical eye and remember that investing is not as simple as blindly buying the dip.
So we've explored the Ethereum Foundation, delved into the play-to-earn game, scrutinized those staking rewards, and even taken a historical detour. It's time to move on to part 3 of our deep dive, where we'll analyze the BTFD roadmap, break down their ambitious plans, and ultimately help you decide if this meme coin is worth your attention. Okay, so BTFD has laid out their grand plan in the roadmap, and they've cleverly titled it Charging into the Bull Cycle.
Catchy?
It is catchy. It's broken down into 5 phases: bull plotting, bull charge, rule breaker, the stampede, and the bull's victory.
They certainly know how to grab your attention.
They do.
It's marketing gold for sure.
It is.
But let's see if the substance matches the hype.
Right.
So bull plotting is their initial phase, where they're claiming to be laying the groundwork, finalizing the tokenomics, refining the brand, developing the overall strategy.
Okay, so the behind-the-scenes prep work, the foundation upon which everything else will be built.
Exactly, getting all their ducks in a row.
So what happens when they move into bull charge?
That's when things start to get real. The platform and website go live. Smart contracts are deployed after rigorous testing, and they essentially prepare for liftoff.
Launchpad time.
Yeah, they're getting ready to unveil BTFD to the world.
Okay, then we've got rule breaker. What's the rule breaking about?
This is where they emphasize security and transparency.
Okay.
Which is crucial for building trust, especially in the meme coin space.
For sure.
They're talking about completing audits, renouncing the smart contract to prevent any tampering, and locking up team tokens to demonstrate commitment.
Those are all good signs.
Yeah.
It shows they're taking steps to address some of the common concerns around meme coins.
Yeah, like rug pulls and shady developers.
Exactly. Okay, what about the stampede? That sounds exciting.
Hold on to your hats, because this is when the action really heats up. The pre-sale stages kick off. Those juicy staking rewards with the projected 90% APY go live, and the much anticipated BTFD bull run game is launched.
Okay.
They're also going to ramp up their marketing efforts to spread the word and attract a wider audience.
So they're going full throttle.
Oh yeah, full steam.
Creating a buzz, hoping to generate a wave of FOMO.
Trying to create a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, if enough people believe in the hype, maybe it'll actually translate into real value.
That's the hope anyway.
What's the final phase? The Bulls' victory?
This is their grand finale, the culmination of all their efforts. They envision BTFD being listed on major decentralized and centralized exchanges, opening up trading to a much larger market.
Okay.
They also plan to lock liquidity to create long-term stability for the project.
So they're aiming for mainstream adoption, for BTFD to become a household name in the crypto world.
That's the ultimate goal.
It's a bold vision, but is it realistic?
That's the question we need to grapple with.
Right.
We've examined the components, the team, the technology, the tokenomics, the game, the roadmap. Now it's time to put it all together and assess the bigger picture.
So let's step back for a moment and consider what we've learned. BTFD is a meme coin trying to break the mold.
They're trying to be more than just a flash in the pan.
Yeah, they're leveraging humor and pop culture references to attract attention. But they're also trying to build a solid foundation with a structured presale, a play-to-earn game, and a staking program with potentially high rewards.
It's a delicate balance.
It is.
Trying to balance hype with substance.
Right.
The question is, can they pull it off? Can they deliver on their promises and create a project that goes beyond the initial buzz and offers real value to its community?
That's the million-dollar question. And unfortunately, we don't have a crystal ball.
If only.
But what we can do is equip you, our listener, with the knowledge and insights to make your own informed decision.
We've given you a framework for evaluating BTFD, for understanding its potential and its risks. We've highlighted the red flags to watch out for, the questions to ask, and the factors to consider.
Now, it's up to you to continue your research, to dig deeper, to challenge assumptions, and to ultimately decide if BTFD aligns with your investment goals and your risk tolerance.
Remember, the crypto world is a wild ride, full of opportunities and pitfalls.
It is.
Don't get swept away by the hype, but don't dismiss the potential either.
Right.
Stay informed, stay curious, and always do your own research.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And with that, we conclude our deep dive into BTFD. We hope you found this exploration insightful and informative. Until next time, stay savvy, stay skeptical, and happy investing.